Good day, students. You're welcome to another episode of today's class. This is Miss Cynthia from JC Base School. This class is for Basic 5 and Basic 6. We're going to continue from where we stopped last time. Do you remember what we discussed? I will remind you. We discussed in how we can represent numbers in index form, and we went further making use of two rules of indices. The first rule is the rule of multiplication. The second rule is the rule of division of numbers. And we multiply numbers and represent them in index form. So today we're going to be looking at division of indices. How we can divide indices and represent them in index form. I hope you still remember our rules. So our specific objective for this class is, by the end of the lesson, you should be able to divide numbers in index form and simplify numbers in index form. Like I said last time, index is just power, and indices is the plural of index. So when you have a number here, follow my cursor, you have a number here 5, and to the power of 8, we pronounce it as 5 to the power of 8. And this one, we pronounce it as 3 to the power of 5. Now this 5 here, we call it the base. And the 8 at the top, we call it the power or index. It tells us the number of times we multiply the base. Okay, so just a brief recap of what we did last time. How can you write 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 in index form? So you see the base are all the same, and the number of 5 is 4. So we write it as 5 to the power of 4. Okay, now in multiplying indices, simplify the following, leaving your answer in index form. We did this last time, but I just want to recap our memory so that we'll all be in the same phase. So I have here 8 to the power of 3 multiplied by 8 to the power of 4. Now this 8 to the power of 3, the 3 up here, which is called the power or the index, it tells us the number of times we multiply the base, which is 8. Meaning that in this case, we're going to have 3 8s multiplied by 4 8s. Okay? You can observe that the base are the same. So that's our first rule that I gave you, that the base must be the same whenever you want to multiply or divide indices. So let's see how we can do that. So we have 8 cubed, which will give us 3 8s. Okay, now multiply, which is this multiply is what we have here at the middle, by 8 to the power of 4. That means 4 8s. Okay, now I told you we have how many base here? We have the same base, right? So we just pick one of the base and we count the number of of 8. So we have 8 to the power of 7. But is there a quick way to work this out? I know you said yes already, because if you follow our law 1, if you have the same base multiplying each other, you pick the first base and add powers together. And this law will guide us in many ways. In just a way, maybe we have a power of maybe 20 something or 30. You don't just have to be saying 8 times 8 times 8 up to 30, right? So what you just do, you pick the base, that's the first base or any base. Of course the base have to be the same. Then you add the powers together. So here I have 8 to the power of 3 multiplied by 8 to the power of 4, which is equals to 8 to 3 plus 4. These 3 plus 4 are at the power of of the base. So from this stage, I don't want you to be doing this one here, okay? So you guys are now experts. You have to follow what? The rule. One line, you are done. Okay. So remember, this only works for numbers with the same base, okay? Yeah. Now, example 2, the same thing. 5 squared multiplied by 5 to the power of what? 4. So we have what? We're going to write 5 2 times multiplied by what? 5 4 times, okay? So this is 5 squared. We are having 2 5 multiplied by what? 5 to the power of 4, which will give us what? 4 5s. So in total, we have what? How many 5? 6 5. But now, let's make use of the quick way, which will give us what? 5 to the power of 6 when we add what? Both powers together. So let's move to what? Division of what? Of indices. Now look up here where my cursor is. You remember this law? I gave you this law. This is the second law when you have division. So this is a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n. And this equals to, now I'm picking what? The first base or any of the base. Of course, it has to be the same like I said. So now you pick the base a and you what? Take the first power, which is m, you subtract it from what? The second what? Power. So it's going to be what? A to the power of what? M minus what? N. Okay? So always start with what? The numerator. The numerator power must subtract by what? The denominator what? Power. Okay? So you're not going to make a mistake. So let's see example. Simplify the following, leaving the answer in what? Index form. So we have 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of 2. So yeah, we're going to make use of what? The normal way that we have, okay? Then before we make use of what? Of our law. Alright, so this is 2 to the power of 5 divided by 2 to the power of 2. And this equals to 2 to the power of 5, meaning that we are writing 2 5 times, right? And we are writing the denominator 2 to the power of 2 times. So you observe that we can cancel out. We can cancel 2 denominator and 2 what? Numerator, meaning that this cancel this. Again, this also cancel what? This. So we are left with what? 2 times 2 times 2, meaning that our answer will be what? 2 to the power of what? 3. 3 because we have what? 2 3 times, which is what? The power, right? So we have what? 2 to the power of what? Of 3. Of course, we have a quick way by using our what? Law. That's law 2. So we subtract what? The power. Now taking the first power minus what? The second power. So we have 2 to the power of 5 minus 2. So we have what? 2 cubed. You see? One line, we are done. And don't forget, this only works for numbers with the same base. Okay, let's see more examples. This example I drafted out from the note I sent to you in your Google Classroom. A lot of you were saying you don't understand division, so listen very carefully now. So here I have 9 to the power of 9. We pronounce it that way. Divide by 9 to the power of what? 7. So another way of writing this is 9 to the power of 9, meaning we are writing 9 times. Okay, divide by, that's the denominator. Now we are writing 9 how many times? 7 times. So you can see that 9 cancel what? 7 times, and we are left with what? 2 9. So we have our answer to be what? 9 to the power of what? 2. This 2 is because 9 is remaining what? 2 here. And we pronounce this as what? 9 to the power of what? 2, or 9 squared. Now a quick way of doing this is following our what? Law. So you can see we just pick the base 9 and subtract what? The power. 9 to the power of what? 9 minus 7. 9 minus 7 is what? 2. And this equal to 9 squared, or 9 to the power of what? 2. So you can see our laws is very fast rather than going through what? This way. Okay, so I will advise you go through this way, because you might be given large number here. If I say here 9 to the power of 30 divide by 9 to the power of what? 20. You see, your book, you're going to consume a lot of space writing 9 30 times. So that's why it's good to make use of what? Of our law. All right, let's see more examples. Now, in simplification of what? Of indices. Okay, I think here that's where a lot of you have issues, but I didn't expect you guys to study this because I've not done the video. So the video is just for that of what? Multiplication, but the note is everything. So you just have to write down the note and stop where I stopped in the video. But now we're going to what? Finish all the parts of the notes. Okay, so my students are very eager to learn. I love that. It's good. Now, simplify the following, leaving your answer in what? In index form. Okay, let's take a good look at this. Try to pronounce this in your own way. Let's see. Okay, this is what? 2 to the power of 3 all squared. Again, say it after me. 2 to the power of 3 all squared. Now, this means that we are going to have what? 2 to the power of 3 2 times. Okay, 2 times because of what? Of this square. Now we have it like this: 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by what? 2 to the power of what? Of 3. Now at this point we just follow what? Our law 1. That's for multiplication. You take the base and you add what? Both powers. Okay, I hope you've not forgotten our law 1. So meaning that now we are going back to what? Multiplication, and that's why I tried to recap multiplication before division. Okay, so when you see something like this, don't be scared. Try to pronounce it and you know how to solve the problem. Okay, so we just have what? 2 to the power of what? 3 plus 3 is what? 6. That's very simple, and that's a perfect way of doing this work. Okay, and remember, it only works for numbers with what? With the same base. Okay, so that's for simplification. Let's see another example. Now try to pronounce this in your own way. Now this is pronounced as 3 to the power of 5 all cubed. Again, 3 to the power of 5 all cubed, meaning that we are going to have what? 3 to the power of 5. How many times? 3 times. 3 to the power of 5 3 times. Okay, whenever you see something like this, don't be scared, just follow it step by step. Now we're going to have what? 3 to the power of 5 times 3 to the power of 5 times 3 to the power of 5. So like I said in the last class, you must not just have just 2 indices, like 2 base number. It can be 3 4 5. So now we are having what? 3. Okay, 3 numbers represented in index form. So it's the same thing. As long as the base is the same, you pick the base, one of the base, and you add what? The power. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is what? 15. And we have 3 to the power of what? 15. Okay, so that's a quick way for us to what? To do this. So let's see the ones in your notes. Now this is what? A further simplification. It's still the same thing. Now here I have what? 3 to the power of 5 all cubed, like what we did the last example. Now, but now I'm dividing it by what? 3 to the power of 5. Okay, so here I will just write it here, 3 to the power of 5 all cubed. Now this divide, I'm going to make it a stroke so that I will have numerator and denominator. So it's very advisable whenever you have a problem like this, try to represent it in numerator and denominator so you're not going to make mistake. So now this divide is my divide here. Now 3 to the power of 5, I have it what as my denominator. So this 3 to the power of 5 all cube, meaning that I am going to have 3 to the power of 5. How many times? 3 times. So here I have 3 to the power of 5. 3 to the power of 5 multiplied by 3 to the power of 5. Divide by, my denominator now is just what? 3 to the power of 5. So I am not having anything like to the power of anything. So let's just say it is to the power of 1. Okay. So you can see that this 3 to the power of 5 cancel what? 1 of what? 3 to the power of 5 in the numerator. So I'm left with what? 3 to the power of 5 2 times, right? Twice. That's 3 to the power of 5 multiplied by 3 to the power of what? 5. So you can see that the base is the same. So I pick one of the base and I add what? The power or the index. So 5 plus 5 is what? 10. And that's why I have what? 3 to the power of what? 10. I hope you're fine now, and I hope it's making sense to you. So it's very simple. Okay. Alright, let's see this one. Okay, I think maybe you guys will have problem here. That's why you were complaining. So this is 2 to the power of 3 all squared multiplied by, pronounce this, 2 to the power of what? Minus 3. So let's start with this one, 2 to the power of 3 all squared. It means that we are going to have what? 2 to the power of 3 how many times? 2 times. So I have 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 2 to the power of 3. Now we are done for the first one. Now multiplied by what? 2 to the power of what? Minus what? 3. Okay. So you observe again that the base of this number, they are what? The same. So we have what? 2. Now let's take the power. Take the power just the way it is. Okay? Don't be scared of the minus. So this is 3. 3 here is positive 3. We have 3. And this second 3 is the positive 3. So we have plus 3. And the third 3 is what? Is negative. And we have minus 3. Okay? So if we follow our rule in both maths, addition comes off for subtraction. So we have 3 plus 3 is what? 6. And 6 minus 3 is what? Is 3. And that's why I have here 2 to the power of what? 3. Or we pronounce it as what? 2 cubed. So you see, it's very what? Simple. Let's see the other example. So here I have what? 3 to the power of 5 all squared multiplied by what? 3 to the power of 5. So the first one, I'm going to have 3 to the power of 5 2 times multiplied by what? 3 to the power of what? 5. So the base are the same. I'm going to have 3 and I'm adding what? The index or power. Index or power, they are all what? The same thing. So I have 3 5s. So 5 plus 5 is what? 15. So I have 3 to the power of what? 15. Okay, so the question might change anywhere, so just follow what? The pattern and follow what you know. So let's see our last example for today's class. We have 7 to the power of 3. Okay, let's pronounce this. 7 cubed to the power of what? 7. Okay, divide by 7 cubed to the power of what? 4. So all these examples are all in your notes, so it's fine as I'm explaining it right now. So you don't have to write it down again if you've already written them down. So here we have 7 cubed all to the power of 7, meaning that I'm going to have write 7 cubed how many times? 7 times. Okay, and which is written here at the numerator, and at the denominator I'm going to have what? 7 cubed 4 times. So 7 cubed will cancel how many times? 4 times, and I'm left with what? 3 7 what? Cube. So the base are the same. I'll pick one of the base and I'll add what? The power. And the power is 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is what? 9. 7 to the power of what? 9. So that's all you need to know about multiplication of indices, division of indices, and simplification of indices, representing them in what? In index what? Form. So I hope you've understand all what is indices. Just a brief recap. When you want to multiply or divide indices, the base have to be what? The same. It's fine if the power is the same, but note that the base have to be what? The same. Okay, and try to follow the quick way, and the quick way is just what? Knowing your law. I gave you 2 laws: the law of multiplication and the second law, that of what? Division. So try to go through this video 2 or 3 times for better understanding. Okay, see you next week. Bye and have a nice day.